Hi everybody, so PUBG have done it. They've managed to throw themselves a lifeline. The recovery plan is starting to come into effect because from January the 12th, 2022, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds will be free to play on all platforms. And this is incredibly exciting because although my channel, you may well know it mostly for DayZ content, PUBG is, if you would say to me, which are the best games ever created, best video games ever created, my top three would be PUBG, DayZ and Battlefield 1, all in their respective sort of environments. PUBG is by far and away one of the greatest video games ever created, the best Battle Royale by far, and will always have a special place in my heart. It's the reason why I bought an Xbox One S a couple of years ago, purely to play PUBG when it went into their early access program. And I have had some of the most amazing video gaming experiences ever within PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, as a solo, as with randoms, and with friends playing the Battle Royale. So it has a very, very strong place in my heart, and that's why you'll see within my PUBG channel bit, within the playlist, over the last year or so, some of the videos, I must admit, they've been a bit negative about some of the decisions that PUBG Corp have taken in the direction they've been taking PUBG in, which I felt have been damaging its playability and its fun, which has led to reduction in players. Now, don't get me wrong, PUBG still has many, many players. In fact, on Steam right now, when I look at its concurrent players, at the moment, there's 107,000 people playing it right now on PC. In the last 24 hours, the most number of players who were playing at the same time was 358,000 players playing at the same time. And there will still be many, many, many thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people playing on PlayStation, Xbox. So it's still an incredibly popular game, but there's no doubt that it has been falling in numbers, and something needed to be done. But also recently, I have been playing more PUBG in the last sort of 2 months than I have been probably in the last year. PUBG has started to become my kind of game of choice when I've finished creating things like the DayZ content and I just want to play a video game. I've just been throwing PUBG on my Xbox Series S and just enjoying the survival and the shooting aspect of it in solo games and in squad games as well, because the game technically is probably better than it's ever been. It runs incredibly smoothly. They recently got rid of the featured map Tago, so there's just the normal maps in there. So when you jump into a queue, the queues aren't too long. They're still, okay, the queues are still too long because of the way PUBG works, but it means you're not waiting forever like you were when there was a featured map as well. And you can argue, and you could argue, that going free to play on a game like PUBG, is it really going to make that much difference to the player base? It's been out for 4 or 5 years now, is it? It's been out a long time, especially on PC. You would have thought by now, with the number of Steam sales that have been on sales on PlayStation, the PlayStation gave it away free for a month. It's in Xbox Game Pass. You could say, well, if you wanted to play PUBG, surely you would have given it a go by now anyway. But I still think that when you've got the opportunity to play a free game, there may well be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who go, actually, I really fancy giving this a go. I'll give this a go. And the lifeblood for any shooter is always having a broad skilled spectrum of players within the game. Because if you have a broad spectrum of players from good to average to bad, it means that when a new player comes in, they're not constantly having to come up against players who are really, really good at the game. So you need that spread. So I think that will help to bring people in. I think one of the big advantage of PUBG is the fact that it is based around winning a Battle Royale. The PUBG Battle Royale is more based around tactics and positioning and strategy than it is against Twitch skills. Well, I think one of the most amazing things about PUBG is it doesn't matter how bad you think you are or how bad you are in reality at shooting games. There's always a chance that if you get your positioning right, you will win a chicken dinner in PUBG, because all you have to do is kill that one last person. And anybody can do that, because if you have a better position on someone, generally you'll always kill them, and so you've always got a chance to do that. Whereas in games like Apex and Warzone, where you have longer times to kill, players can, with better skill, once they start getting shot, they can make a funny move, they can spin around and they can headshot you and kill you. That doesn't really happen that often in PUBG. If you're in a better position and you're in a position to kill someone, you will kill them. They don't have an opportunity to turn you and kill you. And so that means anybody can win a chicken dinner. So that is really, really cool. Also, even more importantly than the fact that it's going free to play, which will attract more players back in, on PlayStation, Xbox and PC, is the fact that it shows that finally PUBG Corp and Krafton, Bluehole, the developers and publishers behind PUBG, are taking steps to increase the player base. And I'll leave links to the website and the videos in the description below this video, but it looks like they're going to be bringing in more onboarding options for new players. So there's going to be a new training mode that you can go into. There's going to be a 1 versus 99 AI mode where new players can come in and start to learn the mechanics, because there is a lot to learn in PUBG. It's not just a case of picking up a gun. You've got attachments, you've got different types of ammo, you've got the different speeds of the circle, you've got all the different weapons, you've got all the different vehicles, you've got the different maps and the different things that happen on the maps. So there's a lot to learn. There's no aim assist on console, so it's very different from games that people are used to playing. But the fact that they're doing all these things, so they're going to be getting all these new players in, they've got a plan to get them on board in a hopefully fairly painless manner. Hopefully as well, they will introduce bots for new players as well. I think they should definitely follow the PUBG Mobile thing of, when you're a new player to PUBG, when you jump into a map, it shouldn't be you versus 99 other real players. There should be an awful lot of bots in that match, so you can kind of get a feel, get a taste for it, so you don't get killed straight away. And I think that's very exciting. Maybe it shows there's been a change at the top at PUBG, or maybe this has been the plan all along. Look, when we get to this level of players, we know that we're going to have to go free to play because we need to get more players in to shorten queue times, but we're also going to be doing these other things. So that's really exciting. And coming back to PUBG as well, it's given me a chance to reflect on the state of PUBG, but also the state of other games that have come out recently, and how maybe PUBG's actually done all right. For a game that is so old. If you think about like this year, we've had the debacle of Battlefield 2042, and then before that we had Battlefield 5. So you could argue with Battlefield that the high points of Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, and for me Battlefield 1. I know some people don't like Battlefield 1, but they definitely sold millions and millions of copies of those games, and they appealed to lots and lots of people. And then mistakes were made with Battlefield 5. Things to do with maybe the way that the maps were designed and the content that was in. And, things were going awry then. And then you had Battlefield 2042, which has just been a complete disaster from the DICE missing out key components of the game, such as chat and a scoreboard, through to uninspired maps, uninspired gameplay, and kind of missing the spirit of what Battlefield is all about. And then you have like Call of Duty, which, Modern Warfare 2019, really, really good. Enjoyed that. Cold War, which certain people didn't like, but I thought was a really good COD. Vanguard, which I really like as well. But then you have Warzone. So Warzone, which has been this amazing success for the last 2 years with the Verdansk map. We've just had the release of the Pacific map, Caldera, where, for consoles especially, there's been no upgrade to things like the graphics or the sound. It's still running on Modern Warfare 2019's engine. And you're thinking, well, the people who made these decisions, didn't they think that the people who had bought new consoles, or even people on old consoles, would have expected a significant upgrade in terms of the way that the game looked, the way the game played, and the way that the game sounded when a new map came out in that way? The engine would have been improved, but it wasn't. And then you come back to PUBG and you go, okay, well actually, although you could say we've had some missteps with with the way that, you know, skins are always a classic one in PUBG, aren't they? Whether they have pyjama skins and silly skins in a military sim, you know, it doesn't really fit with the game. And you've had things like where we've had featured maps where they've reduced the queue times. Sorry, they've increased the queue times to make it not great to play the game because you've got to hang around a lot. But overall, though, most of the changes have been pretty good. You know, if you think we had Erangel start off with, you know, still the best map. Then we had Miramar, which was people have grown to love now, even though it was pretty big. Sanhok, which was loved to start off with, and then people kind of understood that the lack of lines of sight led to third parties, and we fell out of favour a bit, and then they remastered it, but they were going to remaster it again to give us different things, and it gives us a different flavour. Then we have Vikendi, which for me was the best map behind Erangel until they changed it, but I mean it's okay now. And then you had there's the little one, Karakin, the really small map, which is more like a team deathmatch map, but that gives you a different experience again. And then you have the city map where you have the helicopters flying around with the AI trying to chase you down. And then you have Tago, and then we have the volcano map. And if we take it, I think that's that 8 altogether, that none of them have been a real disaster. So maybe PUBG over the last few years, they've actually done okay compared to these massive, you know, AAA franchises like Call of Duty, like Battlefield, that have really taken some enormous missteps that have crippled and will cripple the franchise. I think Battlefield by now is knackered for at least probably 2 to 3 years until they can get another game out, and it may be done forever. Call of Duty, if they don't sort Warzone out and bring back Verdansk or do something significant to give something to next gen console players, then it's going to be weeping play. It's going to be losing players hand over fist. Maybe PUBG have done okay. So personally, I'm very excited about this. As I say, I've been playing more PUBG in the last couple of months than I have in the last year. I'm going to be playing more PUBG. I'm going to put out some beginner's guides videos about PUBG as well, getting ready for that surge of hopefully new players that we see. But I'm really excited with the fact that even if we don't see a massive surge of new players, the things that Krafton and PUBG Corp are going to be doing to reinvigorate the game, I can't wait to see what they come up with. Anyway, what do you think? Is free-to-play going to save PUBG? Are you going to be diving back in? I know I am. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon.